You're Perp back with another video, and I just got done watching episode 3 of Yellowjackets. And man, this story, this show keeps getting more interesting. Even though I will say up front, out of the 3 so far, this is my least favorite. There are things to appreciate about it. I'm gonna get into all that and some of my dislikes because there's a lot of weak points, I'll have to say, but I feel like it's finished strong. At least it has me interested in the next episode. But before I get into this review, hit that like button, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at PerpMinded420. Almost at 2K, so I appreciate it if you just smash that sub button and also hit the like button. You might not see the dislike button, but anyway, I don't want to waste no more time. Let's talk about this opening credit scene right here. And you're probably asking yourself, what in the world is that on the bottom right corner? And I do not know, but I think it plays into a lot of what's going on with Ty's character, and we get a lot more on her backstory. And it's so interesting to me because here I'm sitting there thinking like, this is obviously going to be a show about cannibals and these girls actually having to get to that point because, you know, they're kind of running out of rations and all that stuff throughout this whole entire time that they're stuck out here in the woods because, you know, Misty, she kind of destroyed the box that could have, you know, help them get rescued sooner. But it's been like 3 days, so I like that they're kind of giving us timestamps and stuff so we don't get kind of lost. They also have like a funeral for the people that didn't make it in the crash, which was nice. But I like that we're kind of getting more of Ty's backstory and how it's kind of affecting her into the present day, you know, with her trying to stay in power. And that you're starting to see a pattern with her character. And I could say I do like this scene that we see of her as a kid talking to her grandma. She's obviously about to transition onto the other side, but there's some really like weird shit that goes on with her character. And I don't know, there's just something really what's the term I'm looking for? It's malevolent that's just looming over Ty's character, and I think it's affecting her son. And there goes that whole connection of what her son was talking about, seeing something in the window. Really creepy stuff. We'll get into all that. But now you have Shauna trying to catch Jeff in 4K, pretty much trying to catch him in the act, trying to catch him slipping. Starts to suggest certain things like, can you pick me up here because I want to get the van looked at and stuff like that. And throughout the whole episode, she's just kind of following Jeff. That's all she's pretty much doing in this episode. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Misty and Natalie, you know, going to look for Travis. But also what Natalie finds out, that Misty is up to something else. You know, she's the one that kind of took out the whole break thing, and, you know, and I think she's up to no good, man. She's really high on the suspect list, but I feel like there's multiple things going on at once that I just have no idea how it's all going to play out, but it's very fascinating to watch. Now, let me get into some of my negatives of this episode, and I feel like it's a little bit too much when they do it. They keep jumping back and forth from present day to back in the day, in the past. Too much. I feel like they should just split it up in half and just have like half of the episode be when they're just out there on their own after the plane crashed, and then we get into kind of present day stuff, because it just messes up the flow of the episode, in my opinion. But I do like that we see, they're trying to ration the food that they have, the water that they have. Travis is kind of just in his own kind of world. He's very frustrated. He takes this out on his younger brother, understandably, because he's just mad that his father is gone. And Javi is also kind of going through his own kind of thing. But there's a lot of tension going on, between everybody, and just how long they're going to be staying there. How long can they really stay there? Why hasn't anybody come to look for them yet? And I'm curious to see if they're going to figure out that it was Misty and how they're going to kind of react to that. So Ty ends up finding a lake and decides, let's make a vote on it. Because at first, Jackie doesn't want to go nowhere. She wants to stay by the plane, but you can't stay there forever. So they take a vote on it, and everybody votes against Jackie, and this kind of has some tension brewing between, Shauna and Jackie, because they kind of bump heads, because Jackie was expecting Shauna to kind of take her side. So as they're heading to the lake, going back into present day, where Shauna is pretty much not stalking, I should say, but following Jeff to see where he's heading and to see who this Bianca chick is, to see if this is some customer or something like that. Meanwhile, we go to Ty, and she's on the phone with the reporter Jessica, and I'm wondering what's going on with that, and that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But while she's distracted, she completely doesn't see that her son is just completely acting out, and he's on straight demon time. He's got his black forces on. He's pushing kids down the playground, and this kid has a really weird attitude, and it's just it was really weird. I don't like how this was handled. I feel like just letting this kid talk to you any type of way was just I don't know. And the mom was just sitting there, didn't even say nothing. It was just really weird. I don't know. Now going over to Natalie, because she definitely has a very close connection to Travis. As they try to go to his crib, she just pretty much breaks in, doesn't even care if neighbors saw it or anything. But obviously whatever happened while they were kind of stranded, those two had a very strong connection. And obviously the cops show up, arrest both Misty and Natalie, and Natalie is just really determined to pretty much find out where Travis is at, because she's the only one that kind of is there for him. Really interesting. So she has a phone call. Her phone call is to Tay, and pretty much tells her yo, can you just kind of bail me out? And she has a weird response to this. It's just let this stuff go. You better not be using it again. It's just really weird, the way that she's kind of acting towards certain people. Really odd. So back at the lake, though, like I said, there are a lot of weak points in this episode, like what they're doing with Shauna's character and her kind of going to this hotel where she sees Jeff go and runs into Adam conveniently, and it's really weird. But they end up, kind of romancing and starting to get a little bit more connected. We'll get into all that. Going back into the past, they end up stumbling upon this abandoned cabin, which I think it's Lottie that kind of has this weird kind of feeling towards this whole place. She just doesn't like how it feels, and I would be the same way, because it's completely abandoned, and we're just gonna just stay here till God knows when. I don't know. I wouldn't like it either. I think I would have just liked my chances back where the plane was, or at least around the lake. Very interesting stuff, and I think that's where a lot of more of the horror stuff comes into play, because it's very eerie and it's very suspenseful. Anyways, though, so Jacky is also kind of tripping. She is acting really bougie, you know, but we start to see that she's really starting to break apart. She doesn't want to be out here. She wants to get saved. She wants to go home. She doesn't feel like she can really survive, obviously, for obvious reasons. Going back to Adam and Shauna real quick. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. They keep jumping back and forth, and it's really like frustrating to kind of keep up with. I just feel like they should just do it a little bit less, or just just cut out the filler, or just the unnecessary stuff that we don't really need to see. But I do like that they kind of, you know, are getting closer, and Shauna sees Jeff with another woman. That could still be a customer. I think it's going to end up being a misunderstanding, possibly, but who knows? Let me know how you guys feel about that. Do you really think that Jeff is just cheating on Shauna, and, you know, she's justified in just doing the same thing at that moment? I don't know. Misty and Natalie are able to make bail, you know what I'm saying, because Misty made a call, I think, to some dude named Kevin. I don't remember who that was off the top of my head. So they're going to continue to look for Travis. Going back to the past, we have Shauna and Jacky kind of making amends with each other, piecing things up. And then you got the coach. His leg ain't doing so good. He kind of stumbles over, gets really mad, takes it out on Misty, slaps the shit out of Misty. It's just like, damn, bro, like, you really gotta put hands on a female like that? That's kind of lame. And I feel like Misty's gonna probably try to kill this man. I 100% believe that she's gonna try to murk this man. But we're gonna have to wait and see. Finally, let's get into probably my favorite part of this episode, which kind of ties into the opening credits of seeing that creepy guy with no eyes and stuff, because we get kind of this weird thing going on with Tays' character, and, you know, her grandmother seeing something in the mirror, and it's just being just completely shocked by it, and just being horrified by it. It was really freaky, to be honest, and I'm wondering how that's gonna play into everything. Like, what does that even mean? Does it have any significance for what's really going on? Does that have something to do with the plane crashing? I don't know. Like, this dark cloud that's over Tays' character, like, does this have is this just all her doing? I don't know, man. There's a lot of things that are going on that are fascinating. As we finally find out what happened to Travis, it's really really sad, because they end up finding him being hanged, and there's a note saying, "Tell Nat she was right." And what does that mean? So there's somebody going around killing these people. Who is that? Like, who is doing that? So, see, that's what I'm saying. You have the supernatural stuff going on with Tays' character. You have this stuff going on with Nat and Misty, and them trying to track down who's hunting them down or just killing them off. Was it somebody that was on the plane that they just forgot about or just left behind, is trying to get revenge? I don't know, man. A lot of interesting stuff is going on with this show. Even though I still feel like this was the weaker episode, it still finished off strong. Let me know how you guys feel about this episode in the comments below. Let me know your theories, because I really like a lot of the theories that people are coming up with, or predictions and stuff like that. So keep those coming. Let me know how you guys feel about where this story is going. Till next week, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.